Hello everyone. This semester we're going to be working on a different project than they've done in the past in Print 2, and that is to make a words meaning zine. I think some of you might know by now, but we got a Riso printer, which is a really cool kind of, it's a printer copier that works kind of like screen printing, that it uses a master screen and you're limited to just 4 colors. But it's kind of gives this really cool retro kind of look and feel to it. So I know that, this is an online course, but I think a lot of you are probably on campus every now and then. So I thought, we'll have you design your zines in a way that will accommodate Riso printing. And then, if you're able to come in, I'll probably do just a couple time periods that you can come in and we can print your zines, which I think would be pretty cool to have copies, and then teach you how to fold them into an 8-page. Basically what it does is fold down into an 8-page zine, and then you can share them with your friends. So I just wanted to go over it a little bit. You guys can kind of read through all this stuff, but basically the creativity and design and everything is up to you, but I still want to give you a prompt, just to continue on with the idea that no matter what, in the real world, you will more than likely get a prompt from a client, and then problem solve and creatively think about a solution for that in the long run. So the prompt basically is a word. So this is a word meaning zine. So what you're going to want to do is figure out a word that has multiple meanings. Think about words like jam or head or even tail. And I know tail, I'll show you an example of tail, and that example isn't exactly what the project is. But if you think of a dog's tail, or a tail that's a book, or no, I can't think of more than 3. So it definitely has to have more than 3 different meanings. So it's kind of up to you to figure out what those words are, and that's going to be kind of the second part of this project. But you can see in some of these examples, the person, I think this word is head. And so when they kind of came up with their concept, they thought of what is on your head. So you have hair, you have a hat, and you have a brain. Those 3 things connect to the head. And this is a little bit looser than sort of the meaning of the word necessarily. So I think, depending on the word that you find, you could argue that, head might be something that you could go with. This person did cross. So they have cross as it relates to religion, cross as it relates to x-rays. And then there was another one, cross, like the cross section of something. And then this one, she did tail, but she actually just kind of did a bunch of different tails. And so I haven't really done this exact project in a class like this, but hopefully these examples kind of give you an idea. And this isn't going to be the final format either. I will be posting different examples of formats, but this one here is basically the example where you have, it's an 11 by 17. It has 8 pages. This is the cover and the back cover. And when you cut it, when you make a cut in the middle and fold it up, it becomes an 8-page booklet. Again, I will show you this, examples of this as we go along. But what I have done is I've provided you with the template in InDesign. I've also provided you the template in Illustrator, so you can work with either one. And then since we're doing the Riso is 4 colors: black, blue, yellow, and fluorescent pink. And you're to pick 2 of those 4 colors to work with. So you could do blue and pink, you could do yellow and black, you could do black and pink, any of the combinations of those colors. But you're going to have to download this ASE file, which is, I don't know if you guys have noticed, but Adobe doesn't support Pantone colors anymore, but you need to use those for the Riso printing, technically, the way we're setting it up. So you'll want to download this too. And then the way, I'm going to show you what these templates look like. So this is the template in InDesign. As with any copier, you're always going to have this white edge. It doesn't print to the edge. So if you wanted to, you could do a guide on each, and I'm not sure why InDesign isn't letting me do anything. All right, hang on one second. Oh, weird. Oh, I'm on the, okay. So the other thing I have on InDesign is I've got two layers. The cut line, you're gonna wanna leave this layer alone. This cut line is gonna be for you to use when you print it out as a guide for where to cut. So you'll always be working on layer 2. So that being said, if you wanted to have a guide, you know, around each thing, so you just didn't have white on the edges, you can do that. You can kind of work in these little windows, but that's going to be, you know, up to you to create those extra guidelines. But this is the InDesign template. And then if you, to add those colors to InDesign, you would just go to your swatches. You go to this little flyout menu and you hit load swatches. And this is where you would, mine I think are on my desktop. This is where you would go to that ASE file that you download. It's called Freetone, and hit open. And what that does is you want to use these coded colors. They're all the Pantone colors. So you're gonna want to work with, I think it's just the yellow. Of course, as I show you this, it's not cooperating. So maybe we don't use coded. Maybe you use these. Oh, here we go. So you want to use the, let's see, you want to use this yellow, which is the 803, and I'm going to duplicate this. 803, you would use the color that is, where's our 803 yellow? You could either use this pink or you could use the pinkest pink. It's up to you, but I probably would use this 806. And then you want to use you can just use regular black, but I would probably use the blackest. Actually, I would just use regular black for the black because it doesn't really matter as long as it's just 100% black and no other colors. And if I click on this, you'll see it's just 100% black. And then the other blue is you probably want to use... and it's going to look a little bit different when you finally go to print it, but I'm going to use this medium blue. So those are sort of the 4 colors that you'll want to pick from, and that all of your element, you know, and then you'll kind of decide what colors go where. So just 2 of these 4 colors. Remember, white is not a color, white is paper. So, you know, definitely think about incorporating white. And then the same thing goes for the Illustrator template. So this is the Illustrator template. Oops, I didn't open it up. But I also have, and I'll include this as well, I also have an InDesign, a guide for you to know where each element goes. So this is the template with the page numbers. So this is your cover and back cover. This is where these 2 should go. This is your first spread, page 1 and page 2. Page 3 and page 4 is the second spread, and page 5 and page 6 is the third spread. You'll notice that these are upside down because you're going to fold this in half. So that's why these, you can design right side up to begin with if you want, but these will eventually need to be flipped upside down because your page will be folded. Then when you're, I'll explain them mind maps in another video. But then hopefully once Illustrator opens, I've had a little bit of an issue opening Illustrator. Well, there is an Illustrator document that will be attached. For some reason, my Illustrator's having issues. Oh, here it is. Zine template. Okay, so here's a zine template in Illustrator. Again, you'll have 2 layers, the cut line layer, which is right here, and layer 2. So just make sure you're working in layer 2. You load the colors the same way. So you go to, where is it? Open, save. How do we load colors? I might have to do another video because I'm pretty sure you can load colors the same way, but I don't see the load colors in here right now. swatch options. Let's see if it's here. Nope. Okay, I'll have to figure that out again. But there is a template in Illustrator as well. I'll show you how to load those colors, but the same thing, cover, back cover, first spread, second spread, third spread. Again, fold it in half. And then you'll be good to go. So I will look about loading those again. So basically the steps is you're going to choose 3 words that have at least 3 different meanings, because you'll have one meaning for each spread. You're going to create mind maps for each one, which is the second part of this project. You'll pick a final word. You'll pick your 2 colors to work with, and then you'll start designing your zine. I will add the template guide here as well. And then if you go to the next step, which is the mind map sketches due, there's a video, 2 videos about creating mind maps, and then I just did a quick one with the word box. So thinking of box as a container, as boxing, as confinement. Box probably isn't a great word. That's kind of why I picked it, because I didn't want to like ruin another word for you guys. But you want to have at least 3, you want the original word, you want another level of the 3 different meanings, and then you want to even go further with each one. So that's kind of what I expect from each of your mind maps. And again, watch those videos and then give feedback, pick your word, and then I will have more videos kind of explaining the process of creating your zine, collecting images. And then if you think about with your images that you're going to be using, because we're only using 2 colors, you're going to have to download images that are, and then convert them and do some changes as far as like black and white and duotones and all that kind of stuff goes too. So I hope you're excited about this project. I definitely am, and I look forward to seeing how these develop.